So we're going to tune in with a little body scan just to figure out how and where we are. And then we're going to work our way into a really nice calming and grounding breathing technique that's a little bit different than what you are familiar with. But I think this will help just really pull you down into center and give that nervous system a rest. And it's also a particularly wonderful breathing technique for strengthening the lungs. So I'm trying to incorporate more of those types of things in all of my classes because that's going to benefit all of us at any point in time, but especially so right now with everything going on. So, all right, everybody, as you nestle in, why don't we just start with a few little circles, just nice slow circles all the way around to loosen up your body a little bit. See how she's feeling this morning. Yeah. And let's go the other way. Just notice what you're noticing as you circle, what might be feeling a little tight or tender. What's feeling good? I think that's going to be our, come back to center. That's going to be our theme, our intention maybe for this morning, because we are all well versed, myself included, on, and it is human nature to look for what's not going well. You know, our bodies are a really easy place to feel that because you can feel physical discomfort, but then we see that in our lives too. So just to change our perspective for an hour, I'm going to invite you to pay attention and really notice what is going well in your body, what is feeling good, what's feeling free, what's feeling comfortable, what's feeling easy, where does your breath move with freedom, where is there joy, where is there a little laughter, a little giggle inside your cells and tissues, and knowing that the answer might be not really right now, and that's okay too. So this isn't a forced exploration in, you've got to find what feels good, but rather just turning towards the possibility for that and acknowledging what is here sitting side by side with that, whatever that might be, joy, sadness, excitement, grief, all of it, stress, relaxation, right? So all of that being said, let's just close our eyes, let the corners of your eyes soften, and let's begin with a few cleansing breaths to clear the way, to clear the space. So take an easy breath in through your nose and a soft sigh through your mouth. Just really release that lower jaw. And as you do that a couple more times, feel this as a conscious shift from your day, from your morning, from whatever you know that your day might hold. Just a softening into the shared space that we are in together right here, right now. And through technology, can you just begin to sense that you're not alone in this space, that we are here in our virtual classroom together, breathing, moving, experiencing the moment with each other. And thank you all for being here in this space today. And just allow your awareness to come all the way down to the tips of your toes. Maybe even wiggle your toes a little bit. Say good morning to those toesies. Hello down there. And we're going to take just kind of a quick little body scan. So I don't want to spend a whole lot of time in each area because that's when we can sometimes get caught up in the story of that area. So I just want to touch our awareness on each area, say a little hello, good morning to it, notice what's what, give it a little acknowledgement as we welcome all of ourselves into the moment. So now, almost like a little human Xerox, we're going to scan up our bodies. So just notice your feet. Say good morning to your feet. Flowing up through your ankles, through the lower legs and the calves, through and around your knees, to the upper legs and thighs. Scanning with a curious awareness, just noticing what's here as we travel up through the hips and the buttocks. Especially now as we're coming up through our body, just noticing any differences from one side to the other. Through your belly and lower back. Up through the solar plexus area and the middle back. Continuing into the upper body, upper chest and back. Through the shoulders, good morning shoulders. Swelling down the length of the arms through the upper arms, down through the elbows, through the lower arms, through the wrists, all the way into the hands and the fingers, wiggling your fingers. Good morning. And then we're just going to travel quickly but not rushedly, if that makes sense. Back up through the arms, back up through the shoulders, into the top of the shoulders, the upper traps, the muscles at the tops of the shoulders, connecting into the neck, the throat, up through the head, the jaw, the tongue, and the muscles inside the mouth. Is there anything here, any sensations that you are aware of? The nose and the space around your nose, cheekbones, eyes, behind the eyes, forehead, space behind the forehead and temples, across the top and back of the head, and down through the sides of the head and the ears. We often don't think about the ears, but the ears and the inner ears. What do you notice? What do you hear? And then just bringing your awareness back to your body as a whole and complete in this moment. And let's take another deep breath. Wiggling in, just noticing if anything in particular stands out this morning in this body awareness scan. And just allow that to remain here in your awareness. And we're going to check in as we go through our class and see if anything is shifting and changing. All right. So now just bringing your awareness gently back. And you can keep your eyes closed or you can blink them open again. And we oftentimes will start with a three-part breath, which is that familiar filling yourself up from bottom to top as you inhale and emptying from top to bottom as you exhale. And that's called a bottom-up breathing. So today we're going to practice something called top-down breathing. And so the inhale fills us from the top of the body and the exhale empties from the bottom up. And so this is a way to move a little bit more air into the lungs and create a little bit of a stretch. It helps to break up we don't think about there being tension in the lungs, but there can be some kind of that icky, sticky tension inside the lungs as well as in the musculature around the lungs. So we're working to very gently hydrate, right? Just get all of that kind of lubricated and flowing again. And a visual that may help you as we get going with this is as you're inhaling and your lungs are filling up, it's pressing your diaphragm, your big beautiful mushroom of a diaphragm that lives here underneath your rib cage and attaches all the way around to the front of the spine, kind of behind the solar plexus area. So as you're breathing in and filling up your lungs, it presses the diaphragm down and out. So that's what creates the expansion into our belly. And then as we're exhaling and we think sort of zip up, if you want to think of it that way, we start to exhale and draw the belly muscles from the top of the pubic bone in and up. It presses the diaphragm back up under the rib cage, expelling the air from the lungs. And physiologically, then what's sitting here between the lungs and between the, separating, your diaphragm is separating the lungs and the heart from the abdominal organs. And it sort of acts as this pump, this gentle, loving pump, massaging. That's the word I'm looking for. My brain's getting there. So when we're breathing fully, the movement of your diaphragm is massaging the heart, the lungs, and the abdominal organs. So it does create this full internal body massage, which also helps to flush out a lot of the stress and the tension that can get inside our bodies. I'm going to hush now, and we're going to do it. All right, so visualize that you have the most beautiful, delightful smelling flower in front of you. And you are going to breathe that flower in through your nose. And now imagine that you have a candle with a flame on it, and you're going to purse your lips as you exhale and gently flicker that flame as you blow all of that breath out through your pursed lips. And you want to maintain a steady, even flow of that exhale so that it doesn't blow out your candle flame, but it just gently, gently flickers it. So we're going to do this a couple of times for several moments here. And so we're breathing in through the nose as though you're sniffing that sweet flower, the non-sneezy kind. And then slowly blow out through the mouth to flicker that candle. And you're going to follow that exhale all the way to its completion. And you're just going to continue on your own timing. But as you're breathing in, feel that expansion, the breath, the air flowing into the lungs, the chest, the ribs expanding, the belly gently expanding. And as you breathe out, gently draw that lowest lower belly in from just above your pubic bone up through the belly, the abdominal muscles, the ribs gently hug in, the shoulders stay soft as all of that old air flows out. And so with each inhale, you're feeling that gentle stretch, that expansion through the upper body, down through the ribs, down into your belly, all the way down into your pelvic floor, down into the hips. And as you exhale, draw that lowest lower belly in, the belly, the ribs, the chest stays soft as all of that old air flows out. Do that one more time, and then we're going to add something on to that. Nice. All right, rest for a moment after your exhale. Notice how that's feeling for you. Okay, now we're just going to do a few more rounds of this, but we're going to add in a little movement of our arms so that we can get a more maybe tactile feel, a little bit more embodiment of what's happening with the breath. So the hands are going to come rest on your belly. And as you're sniffing your flower, you're breathing in through your nose, the hands will lightly float away from your body. And as they're opening, feel the shoulder blades gently coming together in the back. So you have this really beautiful expansion into the front and sides of your body. And then as you're exhaling all of that old air out, your hands are going to follow the breath, sort of in their pace and timing. The hands coming back onto your body as you're emptying all of that old air out, making room For a fresh new inhale as you breathe in and sniff your flower. And as you breathe out and flicker your candle flame. Continuing at your own timing for just 2 more rounds on your own breath rhythm. Closing your eyes. Feeling that movement of your breath from within. We'll do one more time. And so at the end of your next exhale, just relax your hands to your knees and again, come back to your normal breathing and just notice what subtle shifts or big shifts or nothing at all. Just notice what you are now aware of. How do you feel? All right, looking down at your legs, and if you have been in a cross-legged position, notice which leg is in front, and let's stretch them out here. Just get some blood flow back into your toes. Maybe make some little circles there. Shake them out a little bit. And we'll cross the legs the other direction just to create that balance in the hips. I'm going to bring the palms together in front of the heart. So just bringing in a little bit more, warming up through our body with our namaste flow. So from this position, let's turn the palms to face out from the chest, and you're going to keep your index finger and your thumb connected. And imagine that you're moving through something thick. And I'm just going to turn sideways so you can see. So as you press the palms forward, you're going to tuck and round through your back. As my teacher would say, express the back body, which I know sounds like a weird statement, but we're opening up through the back. We're expressing, we're feeling into the back body. And for now, just bring the hands back into the heart and lift through the chest. Do that again. Pressing the palms forward as you tuck the chin, the tail, and round through your back. Feel as though you could spread your ribs wider side to side. And then nice and slow, bring everything back in. Building on, we'll press the palms forward as we round back and hold. Now from here, just turn your palms to face each other as you lift up, feeling energy moving down through your hips, up through your heart. And then sweep your arms out and down as though pulling them down through water. And bring the hands back to your heart center and pause. All right, let's connect our breath. So from here, let's inhale. And as you exhale, press your palms forward, tuck and round through your back. On your next inhale, reach the arms up, feel length and energy coming into your whole body. And as you exhale, sweep the arms out and down around you. Reconnecting hands to heart and just pause and land like you're dropping in for that heartbeat. Again, breathing in here. Breathing out as you press forward and round through your back. Express your back body. And then inhale, lifting, energizing through your whole beautiful being. And then exhale, just sweeping down. Inhale, hands return to the heart. Stay there as you exhale. Let's come through that about 2 more times on your own timing now. Connecting your body with your breath, warming up through, Fine. Remembering there's no rush. Just let yourself drop into these slow, mindful moments, yes, movements. And I know how challenging that can be. I find myself wanting to rush through these things sometimes. And so give yourself permission to really slow down a notch. Make it luxurious. And whenever you complete that round, as the hands rest in front of the heart, just pause there. We'll meet right here. Release your hands to your knees. All right. Moving on to a little bit more warming up through our spine, we're going to come into our moving twists. So let's take a twist to our right. So your left hand is going to come to your left knee. Did I say that right? Right hand, left knee. Right hand behind you. And just take a gentle gaze over that right shoulder. So we're not straining, we're not like cranking around into that twist, but it's just wherever your body naturally goes to right now with no pain and no strain. And because we know that our brain learns through contrast, and that's a huge piece of the Somatic Yoga practice, let's notice where we can see too comfortably and remember that spot. So we'll see if anything changes later. All right, now from here with these, you're just going to more or less keep your hands where they are. You're unwinding your torso, your head, and then we're going to release through the back. So it's a little yoga slump. So not really a cat curl stretch like we just had, but just sort of releasing in. So your back is fully unengaged, and you're more engaged through the front of your body. Now begin to lengthen up, and we're going to think from the pelvis. We're lengthening up through the lower back, up through the ribs. That spiral begins to come around through the chest. Pulling gently back, squeezing gently back on that right shoulder as you look over the right shoulder. And then slowly unwind. Releasing in, dropping the head a little forward. And then just continue. So we're just going to play with that, maybe 2 more times or so. And it's creating this sort of wringing out effect in the muscles along the spine. So as we come into our twist and we're engaging the back, we're experiencing that openness through the front of the body. And then as we unwind out of that, the front of the body starts to contract in and the back releases and opens. So this is the next time around into your twist. Take your time. We're going to hold that twist for 1 full breath. And notice where you can see to now if your range of motion changed. And then take your time as you unwind back to center. And again, just let your body kind of slump in and relax wrists. Right, sitting tall in your center. And before we go to the other side, we're going to change that cross of our legs again. So come back to the original crisscross. That probably feels more natural for you. Bring your right hand to your left knee, your left hand behind you. And again, just feel a little length, an easy rotation, not trying to get into that twist, just where does your body naturally twist to. Find a little spot back on the wall or wherever you got there. Remember this range of motion. And we begin to unwind. It's just this softening out of that rotation. And then this lengthening up, pressing the hips gently down. Lengthening up through the back, up through the ribs, up through the chest, the shoulder gently squeezes back as you look up. And then unwinding. Now you can breathe however you like with this. My body is wanting to inhale as I come up and around into the twist, into the length, and then it wants to exhale as I unwind. So see what feels natural for you. We're just going to do that 1 or 2 more times. If you haven't already, try that movement with your eyes closed. Again, to get that sense of moving from the inside out, and also an extra little stretch for the eyes. So as we're coming back up around into our twist, whenever you're getting there, with the eyes closed, you're stretching your gaze under the eyelids to the left. And we're going to hold that for 1 full breath. Now stay there, open your eyes and notice, did your range of motion change at all? And gently release back to center. Have a little wiggle. Stretch your legs all the way out and just hang forward for a moment. Yeah, maybe a little rock side to side. All right, a little tuck and roll back up your spine and back to your easy sitting pose. All right, so let's find the sides of our body. So you're going to turn your fingers in towards each other and kind of poke those elbows out, little chicken wings, my hubby would say in his drumming programs. Your elbows, what does he call it? Oh, pillows and chicken wings. Okay, I digress. So from here, imagine that little string that is just attached to your ribcage and it's pulling you over to one side. And then mosey your way back through center. That string is now pulling you out through the other side. So just gentle and easy. And as you flow from side to side, can you get a sense of what's happening not only through the sides of your body, but through your back? One side is lengthening. The other is contracting. Can you feel that in the musculature along your spine? And you may feel that. I'm aware of it as I send my ribs to the right. I'm aware of a contraction behind my left shoulder blade all the way down to my right hip. So there's this diagonal connection through the body. And then as I'm leaning my ribs, reaching my ribs to the left, and if I hold that for a moment, it's subtle, but I'm aware of a contraction behind my right shoulder blade all the way down to my left hip. Now for my body, I feel that contraction more. I'm more aware of it when my ribs go to the right. It's just a more definitive, oh yeah, there's something going on. It's a little bit more elusive when my ribs go to the left and on that other side. So I just offer that as some information that you might be noticing in your body. And then we'll wiggle back to center. Now we're going to press the chest, the ribcage forward, and squeeze your shoulders back. And round through your back, chin to chest, and bring your shoulders forward. Let's take a little breath. So inhale as you reach forward, squeeze your shoulders back. Exhale, tuck and round back, squeeze your shoulders forward. Let's do that one more time. And we're going to find all 4 sides. So we're going to reach the chest forward, squeeze the shoulders back. Start to move your ribs to one side. There's my side body. Start to tuck and round through your back, like you're scooping that whole back across the peanut butter jar to the other side rib, and then forward again. So we're just going to continue our circles in this direction. So this movement flow is called heart activation. We're activating the heart center forward and back. We're opening this area of the body, allowing freedom and ease to flow in, and again, all the stuck stress flow out. Now, all the other direction. Just make that an easy transition for you. Breathing through this. Make sure that you're not holding your breath. And that yummy feel-good movement. Winding the tensions that can get here into the upper body specifically, but really all the way down the length of the spine. And we're going to just bring that all the way back to center. Dropping in, take a little breath. Stretch your legs all the way out from here. We're going to come down onto our back. So go ahead and just move your cushions out of the way there. And as you're coming down to the floor, you might just rock the legs back and forth a little bit since we have been sitting for a little while, just loosening up where your legs and your torso meet. Pardon me. And then just let your legs be floppy, let your arms relax by your sides. And if your lower back is really cranky with this, you can always just bend one knee, which will take some pressure off that lower back, or both knees. Okay, so take care of your body, be where you need to be there. Let your eyes close again. And just let your body feel the ground beneath you. Feel the support beneath you. As we take a few extra moments just to drop in here, again, let's notice what we might be experiencing in our bodies. If you were to draw an imaginary line down the center of your body, dividing right and left sides, what do you notice on the right side of your body? What sensations are you aware of? And bringing that awareness to the left side of your body. And any differences between the two. Notice if there's a big arch underneath your low back or just the normal sized arch. Does one leg feel longer than the other? And now take your time as you just slide those feet onto the floor, about hips width apart, parallel. And you can keep your arms out to the sides or rest them on the top of your hip bones. And we're just going to move into our arch and curl to loosen things up here through the pelvis and the lower back. We're going to go through a whole little releasing series here through the hips and low back. So as you breathe in, allow that breath again to travel down the length of your body, top to bottom. Tip the pelvis forward so you're arching your back. And then as you exhale long and slow, just simply melt that low back down the center. And then again, as your breath travels down the length of your body, notice how your belly swells and that sort of tips your pelvis forward. And then as you exhale, just simply relax your belly, relax your low back as the breath empties out. Do that one more time. Inhaling all the way down into your hips and pelvis. That swelling of your belly tips the pelvis forward into your arch. And as you exhale, just simply release to neutral. Let your low back just melt towards the floor. Good. All right. Now take a breath in here where you are. And this time as you exhale, draw your tummy muscles in and tuck your low back down into the floor and stay there. without physically sliding your feet forward, so they're going to stay right where they are. You're just sort of digging them in and pushing them forward. And you'll notice that deepens that tuck of your hips. So now you've got a really nice little stretch through the lower back, and your belly muscles are a little bit more engaged. Now this time just release back to neutral as you breathe in. And again, as you exhale, draw your belly muscles in, press the low back into the floor, press into your feet, and just deepen that tuck of your hips. We'll do that one more time. So with your inhale, you're not really arching, you're just releasing back to neutral. You're lengthening through the spine and the torso. And then as you exhale, hug your tummy muscles in, tuck the hips under, you're pressing into your feet, and release back to center. Good. All right. So this time, we're going to bring the hands behind the head. So interlacing the fingers behind the head. Just make a little basket for your head to rest into. Your elbows are out as wide as comfy. Why don't we just turn the head a little side to side here, get a little neck massage. All right. Now, as your head comes back to center, from here, we're going to breathe in. Feel that breath travel down the length of your body. Let the pelvis tip forward into your arch. And then as you exhale, start to melt your low back down. And then press into your feet. You're going to tuck your hips, pull the elbows in, and curl up. Hold for just a second. And then slowly, and this is the key, slowly roll back down to center. Hips are center, and the elbows open wide. And then again, as you breathe in, the pelvis tips forward into your arch. As you breathe out, first just start to melt the low back down. As it comes more through center, then we tuck and curl, pressing into the feet, lifting the head. And then we slowly roll back down. And open. Just going through that a couple more times, inhaling into your arch. Soften the back and exhale up into your curl. Slowly roll back down. So we're just creating length and opening through the front of the body and the back of the body. So don't think of this as a sit-up, but more this reorganizing of the muscles along the spine. So we're going to come through that just one more time. And the next time that you slowly lower down, bring your arms to your sides, let everything release. Let's stretch the legs out for a moment. Sometimes that can get a little crampy in the hips or the other body part, hamstring. So just shake your legs out, take a nice big breath. Good. Take a moment to pause. Notice what's feeling good in your body. Remembering when we did our body scan earlier and we noticed overall after we came back to our whole body if there was one thing that stood out. Notice that one thing now and if it feels like that's shifting or changing at all. Slowly just bend your knees, bring your feet back onto the floor. Okay, so if you imagine that you have a clock resting face up on your pelvis, 12 o'clock to your toes, 6 o'clock to your nose. So we just did a 12 o'clock, 6 o'clock movement with the hips. Now imagine your 3 o'clock position is on that right hip and your 9 o'clock position is on your left hip. So it's kind of a seesaw movement that we're going to find next. So let's just do that. Just take a moment to press that right hip down, and you'll notice that the left hip naturally sort of floats up like there's a little string attached to it, pulling it up. And then we're going to come back through center, press your left hip down, and imagine that little string just pulling that right hip up. Your bottom doesn't really leave the floor. You're just tipping through your pelvis like it's a seesaw, going side to side. So just explore that maybe one or two more times so you can kind of feel that little tip right, coming back through center, and that little tip left. Okay, now come back to center, and your arms by your sides, and we're going to work solely on the right side for a moment. So again, we're going to tip the pelvis to, let's see, to 9 o'clock. So we're going to press that, left hip down, and you're just imagining that string lifting that right hip bone up. Your knees are going to stay fairly stationary, so watch that they don't tip over to the side with you. And then just lower that right hip down. We're going to do that a couple more times. So the left hip is pressing into the floor. I'm actually pressing into my right foot a little bit just to feel the ground underneath it. That's going to help me sort of roll that hip up towards the ceiling, and then it melts back down. It's a pretty small little range of motion. Do that one more time on that right side only. We're dropping the left hip down. Think lift that right hip up, and then melt it down. Relax and take a breath. And again, just notice already that little movement, are you feeling a difference between the right and left sides? So what I feel is that this right side feels so much more awake, and it just feels more expansive. The left side's kind of like, me, please. We're coming to you, left side, don't you worry. Okay, now this time, we're going to do the same exact movement. So lift that right hip up. You're going to squeeze your right shoulder down to it and look over that right shoulder. So this right side of your body is in a contraction. And then release everything to center. Come slowly back. And again, we start by pressing that right hip up. I'm pushing down through my right foot a little bit. And I'm going to squeeze my right shoulder, my armpit down towards the hip, and look in that direction. So I can feel a lot of contraction through that right side, and then I'm going to release it. We're going to do that just one more time. So lifting that right hip. Remember, your bottom stays on the floor. It's just this tilt up. And then we squeeze that right shoulder down, so we're creating a load in the muscles, a tension load in the muscles, and then we're gently and slowly releasing back to neutral. Take a breath and relax. Now again, notice what you feel more through that whole right side and left side. All right, and let's make that left side happy. Let's bring it on board. So we're going back to the beginning. So just that left hip is going to tilt up. So I think the word tilt might be better than lift, because the bottom's not really coming off the floor. It's just a tip to the right, and then it relaxes back to center. Again, notice what's happening in your knees. When you tip that left hip up, do the knees want to come over with you like you're moving into a twist? If so, try not to let that happen so we can just isolate the pelvis. Yeah. And do that one more time. So not letting the knees move, well, we don't want to hold them rigid. They might go a little, but not very far. But you might find that limiting that range of motion of your knees also limits the range of motion of the hips, and that's okay. All right, now we're going to add the shoulder squeeze. So we start first by tipping that left hip up. I'm pressing into my left foot to assist with that. Then I'm going to squeeze or press my left armpit and shoulder towards that hip and look over that left shoulder. Hold that squeeze, hold that load for just a second, and then release everything back to center. Just do that 2 more times. So we tip the left hip up. We squeeze the left shoulder down to it. We've engaged all those muscles down that side body. And we release back to center. One more time. We tip the hip up. We squeeze the shoulder down, look to the left. Hold. And release everything back to center. Take a nice big breath. Let's all just stretch the legs out for a moment. And again, just notice if that left side feels a little bit more awake now. All right. Slide your feet back onto the floor. From here, we're just going to come through little beads on a necklace, so just rolling up and down our spine. So let's find our breath in. And as you exhale, draw your tummy muscles to your back. So you're tucking your hips under, you're pressing into your feet, and you're just going to peel your hips up into your bridge. Equal weight onto both feet. Feel the chest opening. Let's have the palms face up. Now, as you exhale, can you roll down the upper spine first? Maybe. Then coming down through the middle back. Then tucking to come through that lower back. And finally release to center. Now this time, as you breathe in, let your belly swell. Let's tip forward into our arch. Let's exhale, melt the low back. Start to bring your tummy muscles in. Hug your belly to your back. Press into your feet as you tuck and roll your way up to bridge. The knees reach forward, the chest expands. And as you exhale, rolling down, visualizing, even if you're not feeling this one vertebrae at a time, imagine it, imagine. Your spine growing longer all the way to the end. And then as you release through center, let's find our arch as we breathe in. Exhale, melt the back. Then draw the tummy in to tuck the hips under, press into your feet, and roll your way up. Inhale here at the top. And exhale, roll your way back down. And let's just come through that one more time. Release through neutral. When your hips come to the floor, then find that arch. Inhale into your belly. Exhale, melt the low back first. Then engage your belly muscles. Tuck the hips under. And roll. And exhale all the way back down. And eventually just coming to center. Let's stretch those legs out, shake them out just in case your hamstrings got a little testy with that. And then just flop. Bring your knees into your chest. Give yourself a little hug, a little rock side to side. And back to your center. We're just going to stretch the legs up in the air. Just let them literally hang out there. We can roll through the ankles. Keep as much of a bend in your knees as you need to be comfortable there. And remember, if that's not feeling too awesome on your back, you can just do it one leg at a time. Okay, either way. I'm just rolling through the ankles, doing a little point and flex. Let the legs drain for a moment. All of that blood flow and lymphatic fluid, just let it drain out of the legs for a moment. Okay, and then just let your feet be relaxed. And from here, whether you're working with one leg up at a time or two, we're going to take a really tiny little sway. I'm going to turn so you can see that better. Yeah. Okay. So it's like your legs are seaweed and there's just a really gentle ocean current moving through them. So you're not going far enough to each side that the hips roll up off the floor, but you're just feeling your weight shifting a little bit, side to side. And remember, you can do that with one leg. Explore that a little bit. And after a moment there, you would just switch and do the other leg. Okay, so that's always an option if that feels better. Channeling your inner seaweed for just another few moments. Close your eyes. Feel how your legs want to move through the space a little bit. Good. On these last few breaths, we're going to invite the arms up also. So legs and arms reaching to the ceiling. Whole back of your body is heavy, rooted, and grounded into Mama Earth. And just being here in our happy yogi pose. Maybe wiggling the fingers or wiggling the toes. Moving your breath out through your whole body. Just feel it radiating out through your whole body, into your cells, into your tissues. Saying good morning, waking everything up. Be here for another breath. And slowly float your knees back into your chest, just holding them there for another breath. And then lower your feet down, and we're going to come into our relaxation. So you're welcome to stay here. Extend your legs all the way out onto the floor. Place a little cushion underneath your legs, whatever you like there. So just getting nice and comfy. Let your eyes drop closed. Feel the corners of the eyes softening. Remember that will automatically relax the diaphragm, and your body will just naturally take a deeper breath just by relaxing the eyes. Feel the whole weight of your body sinking gently down into the ground beneath you, and just feel yourself supported. Feel that Mama Earth has literally got your back. That all of your doing is done. Letting yourself soak in this afterglow of your practice. And noticing for a moment if anything is feeling different than when we first began, through body, through mind, through heart. Where are you now? How are you now? Just acknowledging that you have allowed the space for these changes. You have created the opportunity for a new perspective, a new possibility. So just bringing a little love and gratitude, a little loving kindness to yourself today. Just imagine that you could spread this loving kindness out through you with each breath. It flows into your toes, into your feet. That loving kindness flows up through your ankles, through the legs, filling the legs fully. Breathing this loving kindness into your hips and pelvis. Breathing this loving kindness into your belly and lower back into all of the abdominal organs. Thank you for working, for doing things I don't even know that you're doing to keep me healthy and happy, functioning fully and well. Breathing this loving kindness into your solar plexus and middle back. Breathing this loving kindness into your upper body, upper back, into the lungs themselves, into your sweet heart. Breathing this loving kindness into the shoulders and all the way down the length of the arms, hands, fingers. Breathing this loving kindness into the neck, the throat, the head, the muscles of the face. Your beautiful minds, your beautiful brain. And just breathing this loving kindness out through every cell of your body. And letting yourself rest. Radiance in your own inner radiance, your own inner well-being, right here, right now. And just feeling that depth of your breath again. Staying connected to this inner experience. Just allow your awareness to take in the space around you again with eyes still closed. How do you sense the space around you? As you start to bring a little wiggle and stretch and a little movement into your body, what does it feel like to move in the space around you? What does it feel like to move from the intention of ease and well-being? Starting to stretch your body a little bit more, waking up to this new moment. When you're ready, begin to draw the knees into your chest. Give yourself a little hug, curling into a little ball, roll over onto your side, just making it all luscious and lovely. And from your side, as you're ready, begin to make your way back up to sitting again. And as you're getting there, eyes still closed, so we're still connected to this lovely inner experience. Just allowing your spine now to move like that little piece of seaweed. Just the gentlest of ocean currents moving it. And wiggling into your center. And we're going to finish here with just one more little piece. You're going to just take a hand and bring that to the space above the top of your head. You can wiggle your fingers if you like. Take a breath. And as you slowly bring the fingers down, so just a few inches away from your body, just down in front of you, silently or out loud, saying the words, I am here. I am here. Anchoring yourself in the moment. I am here. And your hand comes all the way down. You can do that as many times as you like, as often as you like throughout your day, but for now, just take a gentle breath. Bring your palms together in front of your heart center, bowing into your sweetheart. And I'm so grateful that you're all here today. Namaste.